Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be checking out the Dokkan Festival Turles, because of course, he is dropping on Global Dokkan, I think tomorrow by the time you're watching this, so I'm sure a lot of you are curious how well his performance is. There's been, a little talk over the past couple months that he's been out on JP of him not really being that great, and unfortunately, I'd say it's kind of true. He's not bad by any means. He's going to be pretty useful in some scenarios, especially because he is an extreme class unit, and of course, these extreme class releases are very important, because Dokkan typically does like to neglect extreme class a little. So getting a unit like this that could be a very good support, that's a pretty good lead, and just a solid extreme class unit all around, still makes him very useful, but compared to what he could have been, I am a little disappointed. I feel like, again, they could have made him just a little bit better, but we got to get this out of the way at the very beginning of the video. I don't care how impressive he's looking in this video, please don't summon on his banner. We've got Tanabata coming up soon for Global. We've got a lot of other crazy stuff like New Year's and all that coming up. So do not summon on his banner. We did a should you summon and we were looking at his banner. It's not that great. I think there's Yamcha on the banner and he's the only other good unit that's featured. But other than him, the whole banner kind of sucks. So this should be the easiest skip ever for most players. But if you do really want to summon, you really like Turles, I guess I could kind of understand that. But most players should really only be buying Yamcha with red coins. That's the only value they should have with this banner. But anyway, moving on from that. So on this opening rotation right here, we are going to have 4 out of 7 links. Now we are missing Big Bad Bosses and Thirst for Conquest. 2 very, very important links. So what, in total, that's, I think 50% defense? Or like 40%? It's a lot amount of defense and then also attack. So keep in mind we are missing that. But we've got support from Nappa and the Broly Asparagus. So I'd say this support kind of makes up for it. And we're sitting here at 234k defense. I mean, no guard, no damage reduction, no dodge. We do build up damage reduction, but we don't have that right now. So, yeah, I don't know, man. 234k defense with this amount of support is very low. But again, keep in mind, with Big Bad Bosses activated and Thirst for Conquest, we would look a lot more impressive. I guess I'm going to keep the Broly and Asparagus on the same rotation. I know they're a pure sand support, and they support for a lot of attack and defense, so we'll keep them on the same rotation. Now, Turles does build up. So like I mentioned, he does build up some damage reduction. He gets a total of 20%. So he gets 2 ki up to 8, 5% damage reduction up to 20%, and then 40% defense up to 160% with every super attack performed. So once you start to get going in the fight, you get a couple supers off. I mean, he can look pretty good, right? After he supers, then he's going to get all the defense, the 160%, and then the 20% damage reduction. And he's building up the ki, which the ki isn't really that big of an issue with him, but I guess the fact that he's building up some ki is nice. So then, with 20% damage reduction, with the 160% defense, you'll notice him having some reasonable start of turn defensive stats, and then that alongside 20% damage reduction is pretty good, but you need to keep in mind, supers are still going to one-shot this guy. Like, I don't think there's any event, outside of events that he has type advantage in, where he's tanking a super. Because type neutral, he's just going to get obliterated, 20% damage reduction is not enough. And then type disadvantage, I don't even think he's going to really tank normals. So that's what I'm saying with, the value of this guy and how he could have definitely been a lot better. But overall, still a good unit. He's a support, which I didn't talk about, so I guess we can just go ahead and get into that. So if you get the entrance animation off with him, which is kind of difficult to get, that's a whole nother thing we got to get into, but we'll just say like the details of the entrance animation first, and then we'll get into how difficult it is to get. But the actual effect is that it gives all extreme class allies 3 ki and then 18% attack for the rest of battle. That's very, very good, especially if you're running 2 of this guy on the same team, which if you're running him as a lead, obviously you're going to run him as a friend lead as well, so then you're going to run 2 of them. Then that's a total of, 6 ki, and then I think 36% attack to all extreme class allies. That's very, very good. You're going to notice everyone's going to be having good ki, and, their damage is going to be a little bit more impressive as well. But the one tricky thing with that. So the condition to get the entrance animation is that you have to be fighting a Goku family category enemy, or an enemy whose name includes Gohan Kid. But if you're fighting an enemy whose name includes Gohan Kid, you're going to be fighting a Goku family enemy. So basically, just as long as you're fighting a Goku family enemy, then you'll get that little support buff. Not that easy to get. I mean, as most of you know, most of the difficult events in the game right now are extreme class dominated. There is the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will event, but I don't think any of those stages have a Goku family enemy, so I don't think the Turles is going to really have any use in there. So, again, like most extreme class units, it's just kind of a fumble with that. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. They should have made it, like, Well, I don't know. They could have done something else, though, to make it easier to get, because we just don't have any superclass red zone stages, really, or, like, difficult events. So, I think maybe in the future, if we get Goku family, red zone stages, if we get Vegeta family red zone stages, if we get a new type of content that has Goku family category enemies, this guy could be a lot more useful in there, because, of course, he's going to have that support, and then also, just, if he's got, like, type advantage during a phase or something, he could be very good during that phase. So, anyway, right here, we're at 486k defense, basically 500k. We've done, I think, one super with this guy, so we're at 5% damage reduction. So, 500k defense with 5% damage reduction obviously sucks, but again, we're still building up. We're building up the defense and the damage reduction. Now, another bad thing with this guy is his linking partners. So, during the Turles celebration, when it came out on JP, the main unit that would have helped this guy is the LR Turles, or the LR Turles group, or wait, what's the name? Like Turles Army? Oh yeah, Team Turles. Okay. I said everything but their actual name. So anyway, Team Turles really needed their EZA because as you can see, they do share 6 out of 7 links with the new Turles, and also the Team Turles is a support. So just as a rotation, it would have been very good. You could throw this guy in slot 1. You could assume they'd make him a really good slot 1 unit. And then this guy would be pretty good in slot 2 because of course he gets all the defense on super attack and then also the damage reduction. But unfortunately, during this celebration, we got the EZA for the Go Bros, which does not help this guy whatsoever. I don't know what they were thinking with that guy getting an EZA. I mean, don't get me wrong. Go Bros getting an EZA is amazing. I mean, really hype unit. I think when they were released, everyone was, again, really hyped about them. And a lot of new players probably have some use with them. So I like them as a unit, but why are they EZAing during a Turles celebration? Like, I guess maybe the Gohan theme, because Turles kidnapped Gohan in the movie, but that still makes no sense to me, because Gohan's an adult, or like a teen, or whatever. He's almost an adult in the Go Bros card. So, I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. So, that definitely was pretty stupid. Another extreme class fumble. Like, I don't know why they didn't just EZA the Team Turles. Again, would have made so much sense for the Dokkan Festival Turles, and he would have massively helped his teams out. But, unfortunately, this Turles is struggling with linking partners right now. I mean, we'll show it at the end of the video, but he'll link well with some of the coolers and stuff like that, but all of those guys are slot 2 options. I don't think there's a single cooler that's slot 1. So then you're going to have to run this guy in slot 1, and then that's just not going to work, because if you don't build up with him, he's not going to have any of the damage reduction, he's going to have very low defensive stats, and then even when you do build up with him, again, he's only got the 20% damage reduction, so then, like we mentioned, from supers, he's still going to take a lot of damage. But you can see, though, I mean, Sand Warrior Race, Prepared for Battle, Big Bad Bosses, Brutal Beatdown, Thirst for Conquest. These are good links. It's just, he doesn't really have a good linking partner that shares, like, all of these links. Except for Team Turles, but, like we said, he didn't EZA. So, just really wonky with this guy. The celebration was good, but in terms of how they, I don't want to say, like, handled it, but it's kind of how they handled it, like, who they decided to EZA, and like what they decided to do, they definitely did fumble with that, because the choice of EZA made no sense, and then Turles himself, I mean, he could have been a little bit better. Now, there are the 2 banner units that do work very good with this guy, but those are about the only 2 units that are good next to him, and none of the banner units have Big Bad Bosses, so it makes it a little bit, like, wonkier running them alongside the Turles, because then you're missing out on that 25% attack and defense, which of course is, very important. Alright, so I decided to just cut to this next rotation right here. As you can see, we do have the active skill, and I figured the last rotation wasn't really doing anything. We already saw the Turles do his attack stat. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and pop this right here. Now, the active skill, I mean, it's decent. You do some solid damage. There's no effect on the active skill outside of the damage, though, so you're going to want to keep that in mind when using this. You're just going to do some nice damage, which is good. It also helps him build up, because you do get the 40% defense, 5% damage reduction, and 2 key with every super attack performed, like we mentioned earlier, and the active skill does count as a super attack, so you'll see right here his defense is going to get a little bit higher after this, but 787k defense, pretty good. Now, we do have a lot of support on this rotation right here, but let's go ahead and pop the active skill and see what it looks like after that, because like I said, his stats are going to get a little bit higher. All right, look. I can't lie. That's some pretty crazy damage. So 18.3. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. So we did get the crit right there as well, which massively helped the damage. But another thing I completely forgot to mention with this guy, because he's got a lot of stuff in his kit. I mean, I'll admit that. He's got a very long passive. He is stacking attack. So then if you let him stack attack and get a lot of supers off, yeah, his active skill is going to hit very hard. You guys know these units that stack attack, once you give them the opportunity to stack attack, then their active skills do hit very hard. So unfortunately, we weren't able to see his defensive stat after we did the active skill. But this guy right here, I think, is fully built up now. He's at 580k defense, so that's a lot lower. But you got to keep in mind, Thirst for Conquest and Big Bad Bosses are both not activated right here. So a lot less power with his links. What we'll do is we'll just go ahead and play this rotation out like it is. We'll showcase the next rotation with the Turles, and then we'll cut to... I don't know, where are we going to bring him? I want to bring him in a difficult event where he has type advantage, but I'm trying to think of an int enemy. I don't know why I'm blanking. Worst things worse, we'll just bring him in like Red Zone Broly or something like that, just to see how well he tanks in there. Now, I would like to bring him in an event where he can get the extreme class support, but there's not really a difficult event where we're facing a Goku family category enemy. I mean, there's the legendary events, the GT legendary Goku event, and then the normal legendary Goku event, but I mean, pretty much anybody can perform well in there, so we don't really need the support in those events. But again, just give us some super class difficult content, give us a couple stages with Goku family category enemies, and then I could see this guy being very useful in there. Maybe even not as a lead, just as a random unit on the team. You float him off, you build him full additionals or like a mix of additionals and dodge, so then you can get all the supers off. You can try and build up with him as quick as possible, or potentially dodge some attacks with building him with a little bit of dodge. And then, he's got the support going on, so he's still going to help the team out, and he could just look pretty impressive. But I don't know. We got to wait till we actually get, super class difficult content or difficult content with a Goku family category enemy. But anyway, right here, we're at 930k defense. All right. That's not that bad because we've got 20% damage reduction, but you got to keep in mind, we've got over 100% support right here. All right, let me just fact check this really quick. So the Paragus and the Broly, they give 40% attack and defense. Okay, I thought they gave a little bit more. And then the Team Turles gives, I think, 30% to Terrifying Conquerors. Yeah, so in total, we've got 70% attack and defense support, and we're fully built up. I don't know. Considering all that, this isn't that crazy. And how many links do we have right here? We got all of our links activated with Rainbow level 10 links. For his best turn, this is a little unimpressive. I'm just being honest. Look, I mean, he's good, but I can't lie. This is a little unimpressive. We'll see how good his damage is looking here. But in terms of the just raw performance of his defense, I don't know. I feel like that is just a little lacking. But like I said, he's stacking attack, and we've also got a lot of support. So his damage could definitely be really crazy right here. Now, we haven't gone over his passive at all yet. We've gone over a couple things, but not his passive in full. So that's another thing we got to do. Because I want to double check really quick if he's got any like extra damage built in. Because I don't think he has additionals built in, but I'm not sure. But yeah, he does have additionals when HP is 50% or more. So right here, we're going to have that. So 11 million, and we've got additionals built in. And I think we have attacks effective against all types. I mean, that's pretty good, dude. His damage is looking pretty crazy. We're also recovering HP on our super attack effect. I'm sorry, there's just so much to mention with him, I get caught up. Yeah, okay, so his damage is looking good. Like, good damage is good damage. 11 million, potentially 3 times, and you're healing on all the super attacks, and you got, the attacks effective against all types going on, potentially some crits if you build them with crits as well. I mean, that's pretty good, but I don't know, man. His defense, look at that, 600k. It's a little rough. So with all that shown, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the difficult event test. Overall, he's looking impressive, but not as good as I'd want him to look. All right, so we're here fighting Stage 8 of the Shadow Dragon event versus Omega Shenron. Now, this is one of the hardest fights in the game, and the final phase is in, which, by the way, it was a pain to get to this final phase. I just threw a bunch of random Pure Sand units on the team so then they could just crush this, which they did. They did really good in here, but running this guy in this event, even getting him in the final phase was very difficult. So, we'll try a couple times in here, but I'm not going to go too crazy in this event because it's pretty hard to get this guy in the final phase, like I said. But anyway, we're here. We got 6 out of 7 links activated. We do have some support from the Team Turles as well, and we've got just a pretty good rotation. We are fully built up. You can see we're at 818k defense. And then we are going to use the active skill as well. So because we're fully built up, this should do some solid damage. Yeah, 10 million is pretty good. And then you can see we're still at 818k defense. So 20% damage reduction, 800k defense. You know, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's not really that great. We've got type advantage right here, so we should be able to at least tank the normals, I think. We'll have to see with this, though. Oh, it's an AoE too, so we're probably going to die. Yeah, I mean, that's not that bad. We took double digits from the normal. So he's tanking normals from Omega, but I think a super would still kill him. I guess I'll keep that in the video. We only got to see him take one attack. We'll hop back in, but again, dude, that Team Turles takes so much damage. Turles just needs a better partner. Alright, so we are back fighting Omega Shenron. We've got a pretty good rotation right here. We are only taking one AoE at the start, so I think as long as we don't get supered first thing, we should be able to survive, I think. I don't know, the blue boys might take a lot of damage too. I know, obviously, LR Team Turles is going to take a lot of damage, but if blue boys take just as much damage, yeah, I think we're going to be dead here. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see. As you can see, the blue Goku Vegeta, only 200k defense, which is definitely a little low, so I'm pretty sure we might die, but let's see him take a couple normals right here. I'm curious how much he'd take. Oh, we're getting supered first thing. Okay, perfect. So 20% damage reduction, 800k defense, support, 6 out of 7 links activated, rainbowed level 10 links, 213k defense. Or 213k from the super, not defense. That's good. I mean, from Omega, too, he's hitting for like, what, 1.5? I'll take it. I mean, that's good. But then you got to understand, if that was type neutral, that would have been like 600, 700k. So, you know, I mean, he's good, but only really when he has type advantage. So, pretty good performance overall. His team kind of sucks, so it was really difficult to get in that position, but he did survive. He took 200k from the super. Got to give him credit where credit's due. Omega does hit very hard, but keep in mind, he has type advantage, and that was a very good rotation for him. So, with all that shown, let's go and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, so here we have Demonic Fighter wielding Forbidden Power, Turles. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Space Traveling Warriors or Pure Sands, category key +3, HP and attack and defense plus 170%, and then the additional 30% the stats goes to Planetary Destruction and Low Class Warrior. So Space Traveling Warriors and Pure Sands, obviously two very good categories, especially Pure Sands, a lot of really top tier units on there, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have that many good partners, like not a good slot 1 option. I guess he's got the Banner units that are definitely good. Like I said, the Int one, I think it's the Diaz and Cacao, I think. Or no, it's the one with the ball sack guy. I forget his name. But the Banner unit that has him is really impressive. You could run him in slot 1 and then have this Turles in slot 2. But like I mentioned earlier, neither of the Banner units have big bad bosses. So we do kind of need a new unit to run alongside this guy. Maybe if we get the STR Bojack, if he can get an easy A relatively soon, then them as a rotation would be very good because then the Bojack's going to support this guy, and if he can be a good slot 1 option, then again, that could be a very good rotation. But as it stands, I don't know, his teams aren't really that crazy, so that's why I'm saying, you know, he's got good options, like Pure Sands and Space Traveling Warriors in his leader skill, but none of the units are going to necessarily work good with this guy. Like you saw in the Omega Shenron fight, I just brought a bunch of like crazy Dokkan Fest Pure Sand units, really, and none of them link well with this guy whatsoever. The most they'll share is like Sand Warrior Race and then Fierce Battle, but that's about it, right? And then his super attack effect is that he's stacking attack, causes immense damage to enemy, and then recovers 6% HP. Definitely very good, especially considering he has built-in additionals, so then he's going to be stacking attack pretty quickly, and then also he is recovering that 6% HP, which is definitely very good. And then also in his passive, he's got the entrance animation, so we already went over this, but we'll just reiterate. If there's a Goku family category enemy or an enemy whose name includes Gohan Kid, then he gets the entrance animation, which supports all extreme class allies for 3 key, and then 18% attack for the rest of the battle. Definitely very good, especially if you're running 2 of them on the team, because then there's going to be 2 of those buffs going around, as long as you get it activated. But, like we said, that can be tricky, is getting it activated. And then just his passive is that he gets 160% attack and defense, he gets another 60% attack, and then launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super when HP is 50% or more, and then he gets another 100% attack when performing a super, and then he builds up by getting 2 key up to 8, 5% damage reduction up to 20%, and then 40% defense up to 160% with every super attack performed. So unfortunately, it's every super attack performed, not every attack. So then if you get an additional normal with this guy, that's not building that up. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. He's only building up with every super attack performed. And then he also gets attacks effective against all types, and then launches a guaranteed, or no, he launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super, excuse me, once the character performs the 6th attack in battle. I mean, I guess that's pretty good. After a couple rotations, you'll probably end up getting that activated, especially because he is physical, so he's got the base 5 additional, and then, you know, you'll probably give him some additionals in his hidden potential system, so then he'll be doing a lot of supers within turns, so then getting these 6 supers off shouldn't really be that difficult. And then his active skill is that he greatly raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to enemy. I mean, I guess that's a good effect considering he is stacking attack, so the damage will be pretty good. And then but then the condition for that active skill is that you can activate it starting from the 3rd turn when there's a Goku family category enemy, or an enemy whose name includes Gohan Kid, or it can just be activated starting from the 6th turn. So pretty good condition. If there's a Goku family category enemy, you'll get it turn 3. If not, you'll get it turn 6. So you'll see it most of the time anyway. And then his link set is Sand Warrior Race, Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Brutal Beatdown, Prepared for Battle, Destroyer of the Universe, and then Fierce Battle. So, you know, he's got a good link set. You'd think he'd have a good linking partner, but no, not really. I mean, Big Bad Bosses and Thirst for Conquest is a deadly combination, but I don't know, man. He's just still not really that great in terms of, like, partners and stuff like that. You can run him next to World Tournament Piccolo, you can run him next to a Frieza or a Cooler, but all of those units are slot 2 options. So then having this guy in slot 1 is just not going to work. So again, he just needs a good slot 1 option. That's really what it just boils down to. And then his categories are Low Class Warrior, Movie Bosses, Pure Sands, Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card, Space Traveling Warriors, and then Planetary Destruction. So that is the Dokkan Festival Turles Showcase. Let me know how you guys are feeling about him down in the comments, and let me know if you think he's not really that impressive, or if you think he's like a really crazy unit, because I've been seeing a lot of mixed reactions about this guy now that he's coming on Global. Some people really like him, some people think he's kind of bad. So again, let me know in the comments how you're feeling about him. And yeah, I guess that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.